Hello. Hello, fine people of the world. We are live. Just checking the channels because already I was getting messages saying that something wasn't working. So let's go to this one. One ringy dingy, two ringy dingies. That's all good. I hope that you are seeing me from Facebook world. Facebook world and YouTube world. Oh, Angela's here already. Hi, Angela. Hi, everyone. I know I saw people were waiting. It was fun. I actually got on there and it said that there were people waiting, and I was very excited to see that. So if you're on Facebook, you can support the page by sending stars. If you know how to do that, that would be great. If not, that's just right at the top. That's pinned on yours. Hello, Richard. Welcome. Hi, everyone. As everyone kind of pops on. Um, what a day, what a day, what a day. Honestly, I don't know about you all, but I am tired as we gather it sound is not good. Hmm. Something wrong with the sound. Can't hear anything. Okay, let me check the settings. It's Mercury Retrograde, folks. Let's see. Well, it's saying that my microphone is working, so it might be, and it's bad on. We can do a presto changeo in just a minute. Much better. Can you? Oh, sound is good again. Yeah, I think that wasn't me. I think that's not from my end. I think that's from the other side. but it just keep letting me know. And I made some adjustments with the microphone. Sometimes it was strange. I made a really good adjustment, but just keep letting me know, because you know what? I can always do it from the handy dandy original. It's like antiques now, right? I have this, fabulous Yeti microphone, and we might have to go all antique. But well, welcome everyone. Welcome Janet and Angela and Richard and my mom. Good to know that the sound is back, because we've got. But again, Mercury retrograde. We're going to talk all about that. If you're not sure or don't know what that is, that's kind of going to be the content of the show today. So welcome to technology cray cray for the day. And just is anybody, hi Janet, welcome, thank you for being here. Oh, this is great. Now so the sun's been down, so I left my blinds open, and it's been great, and now the sun's back out, so if I get glare, again, it's gonna be crazy today. So anyways, anybody like super tired today or just kind of sluggish? Just wondered if it was just me. I went to a workout today at my CrossFit gym, and holy cow, it was like swimming slowly through mud. And then I got going for the workout, and then just in perfect Mercury retrograde fashion, my heart rate monitor that I wear to keep track of how many calories I burned and all that. Yes, I'm old school. I do not have an iWatch, whatever thing. I do have a Fitbit, but that's just to count steps. Um, but yeah, that didn't sync, and so it's just that kind of day. Connie says she's been a little bit sluggish. Yeah, I just think the energy was kind of low ebb today. Not really sure why that is, but here we are gathered together. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Happy end of your week, happy beginning of your week, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to TGIF for the Curious and Enlightened end of the week wrap up. Um, I'm your host, Debbie Tatel from Spirit Light Insight, and I am a clairvoyant, guide, teacher, all the good things. So that is who I am. And as if you're just jumping on, I was just kind of asking everybody if people are feeling really sluggish. Richard says, you still have insomnia. Oh my gosh, 3 hours sleep. Ooh, have you tried melatonin? Just out of curiosity, melatonin will help. It won't help you stay asleep, but it's my understanding it'll help you fall asleep. It's a natural herb. Or one of the things that I feel like I'm like plugging companies, but there's a natural, I don't know if they have it in Canada though. It's called Calms Forte, CALMS, Calms Forte, and that's amazing. And these are just herbs. These are not like over the counter, any kind of thing. And Richard, I could just say your vibrations running really, really high right now. So you also might want to, before you go to bed, just kind of turn it down. Just give yourself a breath and just really start to turn down your energy, turn down that vibration a little bit. And there's two places you can do that. There's one in your belly. Just set your intent, even if you are unfamiliar with doing that, just to kind of calm that down. But it's really the mind. It's that kind of really high, nee, 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 like that buzzy. You take, oh my God. You take melatonin each day, third prescription, tried Calms. Oh, so you know what I'm talking about, Calms Forte. That is like, that to me is magic. I don't have any, because what I tend to do is just I'll do a meditation, work on my tools and turn down those vibrations. But yeah, Calms, well, then that's a good reminder. So it's a circus in your head. But how much of that circus is actually yours? I'd be willing to say that some of that's not your energy, or a lot of that's not your energy. So look at it that way. Maybe we'll calm some of that down today, because what we all tend to do when there's a circus in our head is we actually begin to resist it, and when we resist what's there, it just gets louder and louder and louder. So yeah, that's something we all go through, like at any given time when our mind runs amok, so to speak. So if you were here or listened to last week's show, how's your aura? Did anybody practice the techniques that we worked on last week, where we did that aura cleanse and kind of opened that up? I and just drop that in the comments as we go. I don't know if y'all remember, but if you were hanging with me last week, but so I taught a balance your energy in an unbalanced world workshop. It was a 1 hour workshop, and this was just a couple of days ago. And one of the people who attended mentioned, so we always do in the workshop, we have the workshop and then we have a little after chat afterwards, because that's one way to kind of get the energy solid, and also you don't feel so alone when people say, oh, I was having a hard time doing this or that, and somebody else was too, or did you experience this? It's a beautiful give and take. So we have this after chat, but this particular person lives like with his family, and they've been trying to kind of get out of that space and get their own place, but in the meanwhile, family never lets him be, and it never gives him any kind of space, and he usually goes into total resistance to it. But right after class, and I'm gonna put this up. Thank you, Janet. Thank you for coming. It was great to have you there. I'm so glad you liked it. But what he did after, and we did this in the meditation last week in the TGIF. So if you're just listening now, you can go ahead and grab that aura cleanse. Not right this second, but go, kind of a little bit later, and you'll get a fabulous meditation in there. But what happened was he pulled his energy in, he pulled his aura in, his energy bubble to about 6 feet around him, and their presence didn't affect him. And it was so amazing to hear him say this, but even more so to see his face, because we were on Zoom, in just the childlike wonder of what the heck just happened. And I'm just so excited for him, that he was able to pull his aura in and really get that sense that that was his energy, and then that was not his energy. It was just really beautiful. So I really appreciated that. And it's great. You saw a lot of green in your aura. Yeah, that's a growth period. A lot of times, green, well, it depends on what color green. There's any number of reasons, or not reasons, but meanings to different things. So congratulations, you're moving and shaking, and you're stirring up energy and clearing it out. So congratulations, Richard. Welcome, Maria. Nice to see you. Not sure if you had a chance to listen to the recording of the workshop from the other night. And by the way, if you're at all interested in that, you can actually go to the meditations on my website, and it will be in the, you have to kind of scroll down a little bit, and then it says other meditations, and it'll be right at the top, and it's just the audio. So oh, that's okay. It's not a requirement, but I did send out I sent out the email with the link. Otherwise, you can go to my website. Actually, I'll throw that in the la la la. I'll throw that in the. So I put this up as a QR code, but what it will do is it will show up as a link in whatever you are looking at. So if you go to the free meditations on my website, and just scroll down to the other more meditations. It'll be right on there. Uh, as a nice tool, as a nice thing for you to go through. So, and anytime you take any of my workshops, whether they're free or whether they're paid, you get a recording of the workshop to keep. But it's just so nice to hear and get some of this feedback, because it lets me know, like, you can really have what we're doing here. And it's so great that you're with me every week. So I'm really glad, Richard, that you read it. I know you, I think, did you send me a message, or did you just send me an intuitive message that you were going to redo it again? I don't remember. Might have been in the comments. So, mm. Drink of choice is not Starbucks. It's actually water with electrolytes in it, because that workout was a little rough. So the tools that I'm offering here these are like spiritual gold as far as I'm concerned. I have, from the minute I learned them, I knew that I wanted to teach them and share them with other people. So I was pretty committed there. So there we are. But today, in addition to our weekly wrap up, I want to discuss why or how, I don't know how you would say that, the Mercury retrograde cycle is a solution, not a problem. Because Mercury officially went retrograde on the 23rd, Wednesday. What's today? Friday. See, that's where I'm at in spirit. There's no time or space. So um, sometimes days just go by, and we don't even know. But we're going to discuss a few details about Mercury retrograde. In case you're not familiar, I will get it up for you. Uh, Maria, that meditation was very cool subject. Balancing your energy in an unbalanced world. Yupper dupper. That is, it was great. Everybody really cleared a lot of space. So, just as a reminder, and you're certainly welcome to stay on Facebook, it's there, but for the best viewing, you can jump over to YouTube for the best viewing and commenting. There's links right to the YouTube, right in the events, or if you go to YouTube, you can put in at Debra Tatel or Spirit Light Insight, and it should pop up for you, but it should be um, right in your right on the meditation, or the line there on the top. So what a week, what a week. And I'd like to hear about your week too. While I'm talking, you drop them in the comments, because you know I have this crazy delay. Great. But please do drop your comments in there. How was your week? Because I noticed a week, it was a mixed bag of fear and anxiety and resistance and effort. And I just kept hitting, like, I was personally was having a good day or a good kind of week, and then I would hit this like wall of energy, this wall of fear and resistance, and it was really something. It was a little bit surprising, but what it would do, there was like a lot of unconsciousness that I noticed. People were basically driving unconscious, which is incredible. When you're a clairvoyant and you're in your car and you're driving and you see that the people around you are unconscious and driving, it is not it's not a good thing. So you have to pay attention for all of you. You have to pay attention to your driving, their driving, everybody's driving. So, but that's kind of some of the things that I was noticing, and with all that fear and resistance and effort, I was recently reminded. Did an amazing reading with a group reading on Tuesday night, and I was recently reminded that oftentimes what we see or what we experience or what we feel are things that are coming out. And so that's such a good reminder for all of us that sometimes some of the energies that we experience are part of what we are releasing as well. It's what's coming out. So it's always a good idea to give yourself a breath and kind of check in with yourself and just see, is that your energy? Is that someone else's? And you can ask these questions and use your intuition to get your answers, right? I mean, obviously, this is what I teach in some of my classes, and some of you already know this, but this is such a good uh, way of checking in. The music. What music? Oh, why is there music? How's that? Let's try that. My goodness, has there been music? Can you hear now? Well, it shouldn't have been on in the first place. I didn't turn it on. I love it. I have like this light right here. Yeah. Oh gosh, I didn't even know that there was music. No wonder there was like weird sound. Well, hang on, let me. No wonder there was weird sound. See what I mean about Mercury retrograde? There we go. No, there shouldn't be. I just turned. I saw there was something on the side, so I turned it off. My goodness. So hopefully you could hear this. Oh, hey, Peter. Good to see you again. That's wonderful. Thank you for telling me. If there's ever music, there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. Even though it's nice during a meditation, there shouldn't be under my talking. I must have hit a button or something. Because there's something on the side that allows me to play. It's kind of, it says it's AI music, but I don't like any of it. So, which is clear. It's been really messed up today. I'm sorry. Is it better now? It's been a musical week. I wish my week was musical. My week was just filled with hitting all kinds of energy. Oh, so well, hopefully the audio is cleared up now and I haven't lost too many of you on here because I really would. Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at the energy, and of course, there's the Mercury retrograde, but there's also this like incredible collective clearing going on. But here's what I can tell you from my standpoint, which this is just in my opinion what I see. Maybe everybody will have a different idea of that, but everything from this point forward will be completely different, including the music not being underneath my voice or over my voice, however that is on this recording. So I apologize for that. You know, we got to roll with it sometimes. Honestly, everything's going to be different. And so our choice, just as you watch me, like there's mistakes, stuff goes on, and hopefully, and thank you for sticking with me, even though it's been screwed up. But you got to tell me, tell me this, or I can't fix it. So thank you so much. But that's a communication. But all of it was a piano music. Yeah, it was a virtual music. I must have hit the button. There's actually a virtual music, but clearly it does not work because it messes up the rest of the sound. So we're not going to have that. But so our choice during all these changes and clearings and all of these things is to go with the flow of change or go kicking and screaming into our future. In other words, it's up to us not to resist. And for the record, I want to be really clear on this. I'm referring to going with the flow of change in the sense of changing our energy, changing our flow, sort of updating where we are versus like we don't have to like what's going on necessarily in the world, but it's going to take each of us to mind our own energy. And when we do that, the more we do that, the more it touches other people and they begin to do it as well. And resistance is, it's just not going to resisting it is actually going to make it quite painful to go through whatever that growth is. Anytime we resist anything, it can create a very painful and full of effort space. So it's up to us to take responsibility for our energy and what we add to the world. So in that resistance, it creates a sort of a fight or flight response. And so sometimes we need to step back and step into our own energy and then see how we want to react. What is it that we would like to do about it rather than matching the energy? And many of my colleagues are talking about the matching energy, where we match that energy of resistance, match that energy of fear, match that energy of anger or whatever it is, right? And when we do that, we're right in it. We're in the thick of it. We don't have our space. We don't have our energy. And we don't have to match. We just need to have our own energy, heal ourselves. And when we do that, it gives space for that other stuff to clear that's in our outer world. So it's important we choose to navigate and react to the world as spiritual beings having a human experience. And when we have our own energy in our space, we can react or act from a space of discernment and neutrality. So Richard says, I felt like my mind may have been strongly resisting something that's upcoming. Yeah. And if we know it's coming, it's still going to come, right? So we can resist it or go with that flow. That's kind of the way I see that. So I hope that made sense, because anytime we resist, we get stuck in the resistance. So, what is it? And actually, that's great, because I wanted to ask, what are you resisting? What is the thing that you resist? Sometimes we resist change. We resist what's happening in the world. We resist our friends, family, and, who knows what. So if you've been in resistance or fear, or you're matching, anytime you're doing that, it's dividing us. It is separating us from the all, from others, and it can be very isolating. So that's a little bit about kind of what I was noticing. But along with that space, along with that divide and all of that, I also want to talk about the other side of that dichotomy, which is where we are coming together. And so drop in the comments, like, sort of where you feel like you've been coming together as well. Because that's important too, that we not just focus. And I'm going to put out a YouTube short about this, is if we focus with the intent to see versus focus with the intent to find a problem, we're going to have a different experience there. So I want to talk about where we're coming together. And there's been lots of things that I've noticed. I don't know if wherever you are, they do this, but on the news, they do like something called like America Proud or something like that. And because I watch ABC, I watch some of the other channels, but I watch ABC, and they do like this little segment where they take somebody who has done something great, like a little kid who is, raising money for the homeless, things like that, like epic things where and when they interview, it's like the parents don't even know sort of why the child is interested, but there's so many kids and children who are stepping up right now. So keep your eyes open for that, because you're going to see that more and more and more. You're going to see that the healing a lot of this healing that starts to happen comes from the kids. We all came together. Did anybody see? How did you? Okay, so if you didn't see, you've just got to go to my Facebook, my Instagram, or anywhere. Did you see the baby giraffe that was born without spots at like sort of a private zoo? It's a, I guess it's like a refuge, like a sanctuary for giraffes. And honestly, I don't remember the numbers, but they said that giraffes are dwindling in numbers, which just makes me so sad because they're such amazing creatures. But this baby giraffe was born without spots, and they posted, oh, that's great. It's great. There's a little giraffe without spots. That's so cute. Oh my gosh, Maria, thank you. So giraffe with no spots, but it something like that. It's adorable and it's sweet, and you look at that face and it's so innocent and so alive and beautiful. Brand new baby, and which, by the way, was born on my birthday, July 31st. So I feel a very special kinship with this baby giraffe, who's born a little bit different than the other giraffes. But it's really that brought the world together in a moment of awe. And it went viral. It's getting millions of views. It was picked up by every news outlet. How can we not come together? So that's a place where I know it's something maybe so simple as a giraffe being born. Does anybody remember when oh, I don't remember the giraffe's name, was having a baby, and there was like baby watch for her having her baby, and then she finally had her baby. But these are ways that we're brought together in these feel good moments. It's not always the doom and gloom and the worry that's in our minds. Also, this week, the Hawaiian spiritual leaders did a global meditation for Maui and for Lahaina. They pulled together, well, they did a global meditation. I don't remember what day it was. Well, I posted about it, but I don't remember what day it was. But they had a global meditation, invited people in the world, and we all came together. Several spiritual circles from around the world tuned in to what these Hawaiian spiritual leaders were doing, and whether they were creating prayers for one location, it doesn't even matter. When we begin to come together, that is an incredibly powerful, energetic space. So that's a beautiful coming together. People are stepping up to help each other. My mom said, how about mother gorillas with their babies showing such love? Yeah, all of that. And that brings us together. NPR, National Public Radio, and this is amazing. National Public Radio posted a story, I want to say yesterday or the day before. I recently I just shared it. I think yesterday. It was about brightening your day, or saying hello will do more than brighten your day. And now they're doing studies. Well, guess what I teach? In all the clairvoyant and all the stuff that we're doing, we're giving ourselves a spiritual hello. We're giving other people these spiritual hellos. So I read the story and I thought, this is great. It's in words that most people that even aren't in spiritual circles are can relate to. Yeah, and it was a study and all of that. So find the story about a hello, the power of a hello, or the hello brightening your day, because this is a real thing. And that's why when in a reading, when I say hello to spirit, how powerful that is. It brightens my space, it brightens that person's space, and people start to feel seen. So it's incredible that as these different studies and people look at this stuff are released to the public, because they know some of this stuff already. But as it's released to the public, especially on National Public Radio, it puts that energy into the world. Yeah. So wrapping that part up for the week, and there's other things that happened in the week. I just don't even want to go into the political, because I don't want to add energy or fire to the what is it, add wood to the fire, what is that statement, adding fuel to the fire, that's a statement. I don't want to add fuel to the fire. And anytime we say anything, whether we agree, whether we disagree, whether we think it's right, whether we think it's wrong, all these are judgments, and we add fuel to the fire. So we are in a space and time where energy seems hopeless sometimes, and where we are seems hopeless, or people are afraid. But there's so much hope in the world. And it takes us, we need to look at ourselves and what are we adding to the world? Are we adding distractions? Nothing wrong with social media. You're all sitting on either Facebook or YouTube, joining me today. But when it becomes unconscious scrolling, or what do they call it? Doom scrolling and things like that. When we do that, we add fuel to the fire. So what energy are you adding to the world? And I'm curious, what have you been tuning into? What have you been seeing in your world? Because what you see is almost in direct relation to where you are. So isn't that interesting? Yeah. So I'm curious to hear about any new awarenesses or anything you've tuned into. What did you notice this week? Sorry, I'm going to have to drink this. It's just, and now that the sound is better, but what is your, any new awarenesses, even about yourself? Did you have any aha moments? Are you going in a different direction? And actually, this is great. I actually had like a little note off to the side, because I think, Richard, you had mentioned about not sleeping last week, and so I was going to ask you, but you already shared that. But for everybody, how's Mercury retrograde treating you? We were in the shadow period before the 23rd, so everything started to slow down. And then, of course, full stop, where Mercury, what they call, goes direct station, where it's like, think of it like a ball. If a ball is spinning and then it slows down, it comes to a full stop before it starts visually spinning the other way, right? So that happened on the 23rd. So we are right in the midst of that slowdown. Obviously, we had tech problems today. We had sound problems today. Right in line. We're right in line with all of that space. So give yourselves a breath and drop your comments in. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Mercury retrograde as we go. But first, we will take a little station identification. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome to TGIF for the Curious and Enlightened. This is for all levels. We're going to do a meditation shortly. I'm Debbie Tatel from Spirit Light Insight. I'm a clairvoyant. I do mentoring. I teach clairvoyant development, have meditation workshops, and really try to do things to help you get through this journey you call life this time around, because you've been around more than a few times. Janet is sharing, it's been a tough week, but this morning felt a big change in the energy, turning more positive. Yeah, congratulations. And some of that might have been lit up in the workshop from the other day. And actually, I should have mentioned that you couldn't get sound the other day, which is amazing, because again, that's Mercury retrograde. But I'm so happy that you're starting to experience that big change in energy turning more positive. Yeah. Or more in alignment, maybe is how I would say it, is more in alignment with where you want to be. Because isn't that really it? Is when we're in alignment with our energy, when it's balanced, then uh, we feel more joyful because we're able to bring more of our spiritual energy in, and our spiritual energy is pure joy. So that's where it is. So thank you. Oh gosh, thank you for that. Yeah, you did great in there. And alignment's a good word for it. Yeah, because that's really what it is. We just are so used to judgment words that we just use them. But we're going to switch that part too over to kind of a more neutral, but where we're in alignment with things or out of alignment with things. Richard felt like he let go of some control of this and go with the flow, work around energy fluctuation. Yeah, there's been actually that's a really good point. There's been a lot of energy fluctuations. The earth is just really uh, churned churned up. Was it last Sunday? So last Sunday, oh, this is a crazy story, y'all. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you this story. So I was doing so California was bracing like for this hurricane, right? It was coming in. I was reading somebody, I'm pretty sure this was Sunday, that I was reading somebody, and I'm looking at her, and she's in Puerto Rico right now, but she's actually, her son's in San Diego, something like that. And they're going back there because of hurricane season. They don't want to be in Puerto Rico during hurricane season. And so I'm reading her and I'm looking, and all I can see, so I see the hurricane, and we started talking about that, which is how she shared with me that they're going back to California. And suddenly, out of the blue, I see this really busy Middle Earth, and I'm like, wow, it looks like. And I asked her, do they get earthquakes in Puerto Rico? Which, probably, I'm sure they do, but it just looked like this big earthquake, and I thought, well, that's weird. Why am I seeing an earthquake in the middle of a hurricane? And literally a half hour later, California got hit with a 5.1 earthquake, kind of in the middle of this, which actually really was more like a tropical storm at that point. But oh my gosh, that was that even I do these things. And yeah, Janet's just outside of Los Angeles in the valley, and you had a tropical storm and an earthquake. It was crazy. But the fact that I read it and she was grounded to that space already was, no matter, I always say, if I don't ever consider these reading a miracle, or being able to see that, if I ever take that for granted, I'm getting out of this business ever, because that to me is amazing, to be able to see that. So it's incredible. But I had to share that. I totally forgot. I should have put that in here, but it's crazy. Maria says, I think I've been writing things a little more focused and intensively here and there. Yeah, there is really a level of creativity that is coming online, I think, for everybody. So go with that flow too. Do what you're prompted to do. Do what you are called to do. Yeah. And yes, it's okay to do during a Mercury retrograde cycle. So I've been mentioning that a lot, and maybe all of you don't know, or people who are listening to this another time aren't familiar with the Mercury retrograde. Um, but for those of you who fear Mercury retrograde or get nervous or start blaming Mercury retrograde, I think I have some information that might be very, very helpful to you. First of all, I should start by saying there are actually 6 planets in retrograde. So although I'm going to talk about Mercury, it's almost times 5, right? So if Mercury would be one of the 6, it would be times 5 when we talk about a retrograde. Okay. And so there's what one consider, well, I try to stay neutral, but one consider positive and negative things about each one, right? For years, I have offered a Mastering Mercury Retrograde meditation. I have done it almost every year. I have written, I don't know how many blogs, use Mercury retrograde to your advantage, or pieces on Medium, published pieces, things like that. But there seems to be this big, Mercury's in retrograde, fear and blame game. So everything gets blamed on the retrogrades or Mercury retrograde. Or even astrology is to blame. Well, I'm in the 7th house of the 6th moon of whatever, so that's why I do that. Well, that might be an influence in your life, but that's not why you do that. So what I'm trying to do is just kind of shift a perspective here from blaming the planets, because the planets are wonderful. And there's a lot of resistance to Mercury retrograde overall. So anytime we are in fear or blaming anything, we're not growing and expanding. And in fact, we all know that what we resist persists. And if we become stuck in that space, if we become stuck in blaming the planets or blaming that's really a stuck, kind of a stuck space. And what I always say, and you'll hear me say it over and over again, is that astrology and all of these things, they are guideposts, not hitching posts. They're not there to keep us stuck. They're there to guide us and say, wow, I have this influence. So I need to be aware of that during my everyday thing, right? So in particular, and Tom sent Janet a message. That's very lovely. Quite the day. Hopefully safe and wasn't too affected by the crazy weather, which is very lovely. So there's a lot of myths surrounding the whole Mercury retrograde cycle. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't sign a contract. Don't, I don't know. There's like any number of things. Don't do this. There's so much don't. Right? There's so much don't. And yes, what we resist persists always. Always. It's like we're feeding it when we resist something. We're just like giving the child ice cream. We are feeding it. So don't do this, don't do that. There's a lot of spiritual people who talk about, what you don't do. But here's the thing. Mercury retrograde, or any retro, and the different planets have different time frames. I think Jupiter might be like a year or something, and Venus might be 16 years. Like I don't know. I don't know all that, right? I just pay attention to it and go, okay, I should be aware of this. And I welcome you to shift to that space too, where just use it and be aware of what's there so that it can help you. But the reality is Mercury retrograde happens 4 times a year, and you cannot stop your life 4 times a year. And you particularly can't stop your life for several months 4 times a year. Yeah. Yes, there's slowdowns, but you can't stop your life. So we're going to talk about why Mercury is actually a solution to being stuck and getting unstuck. or not being stuck. We don't want to get stuck. We want to get unstuck. Fun fact. This is a fun fact. Every Mercury retrograde, I hear from an ex-boyfriend. Every single one. And it cracks me up. It'll be some message. It'll be some communication, someone I haven't heard from in a million years, but it's like they pop up like little weeds. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I love all of you, but it crops up during Mercury retrograde. Another thing, because one of the don'ts is don't sign a contract during Mercury retrograde. Again, you can't stop your life for several months, 4 times a year. One of my other jobs, like not just being a clairvoyant here, is I help people buy homes. And I do more real estate business during Mercury retrograde than any other time. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on press board. Whatever. I'm knocking on my desk. So it is a little amusing how that works. Yeah. So also, important thing to remember about the planet Mercury or any other planet going retrograde in a retrograde phase, but they are not really moving backward. It's an illusion that they move backward. So on top of this, like all this fear about Mercury retrograde, we're getting in fear of a planet that we think has changed directions, and it's not changing directions. It is the illusion that it's changing directions. And boy, do we give our power over to that. It's incredible. So that is exactly, see, Richard is so psychic that he knows exactly where I'm going with this whole thing. I'm just drawing it out. Richard, let's get right to the point there, that it's more of an invitation to slow down than look at the details. Yep, exactly. And that's exactly where we are going. So, fun facts: Mercury goes retrograde 4 times a year. Just like the seasons change, we have, spring, summer, winter, fall. No matter where we are, we have those. We might not see depending on where we live, right? I'm in Chicago, so I have 4 seasons, or if you want to count that there's really 2 seasons, there's winter and construction season. But technically there's 4 seasons. So the first Mercury retrograde was December 28th to January 18th of this year. And then the other one was in April. This one is started on Wednesday and will end technically on the 14th, and then it'll take about a week to get back to normal. And then, as per usual, there's usually one during the Christmas holidays or whatever. December holidays. Ooh, that's bad, Christmas. But anyway, December holidays. So it starts December 13th and runs through New Year's on the 24th. Well, that ought to make New Year's plans just really interesting. More fun facts. Mercury is the planet of communication, cooperation, technology, and data. Yeah. So isn't that interesting that we had the tech glitches and the sound glitches today? Very, very interesting. So during retrograde periods, people may blame technology mishaps and misunderstandings on Mercury. Of course we do. Why not? We need something to blame. But you can have your amusement. And to be totally transparent and honest about the whole thing, I do avoid purchasing technology I will wait. If I need a new phone, I mean, if at all possible, I will absolutely wait to purchase that technology piece. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm waiting. I don't know what, I just feel like it's kind of like just one of those things, be safe or be sorry, I don't know. But since the planet Mercury rules communication, travel, contracts, automobiles, and all of that. So what you have to do is you have to remain flexible. Actually, I'm going to leave this up, Richard, because I think that's an important thing for people to see. But you want to allow extra time if you're traveling. You want to pay close attention if you have to sign a contract. That's what I always do. But I always also kind of in the back of my mind, kind of have it in there. Okay, we might have some delays or some glitches. So you just have to be realistic about that. But you also want to review projects and plans. But with anything you do, you want to dot the I's and cross the T's and maybe even get another set of eyes on it, because sometimes we are just moving so quickly that we stop looking at the details, right? So Mercury retrograde is all about, if you've heard this before, I will say it again. It's all about the RE. Reset, refresh, reflect, release, revisit, redo, recheck, reimagine, revise. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's great. Like gremlins, the glitches. Yes, the glitches are absolutely there, but we want to reimagine and revise things all the time. So this is exactly where kind of Richard mentioned earlier, but some of the challenges we might face, or what we think are challenges during Mercury retrograde, give us an opportunity to see things in a different light. It gives us time to kind of go back and look at those things and maybe reimagine them. Yeah. And maybe if your plans change or something goes awry, you do something else in the process, you take a left instead of a right, and you have some epiphany or discover some new thing. So the cycles don't cause problems. They bring our attention to what's happening. It's just the opposite. It's not that it's causing that thing to be off, wrong, whatever. Maybe there's a glitch or something in a real estate contract, right? So that's not, it didn't cause that, but it sure brings my attention to it, right? And that is it. It's time to look at the details. So when we give ourselves time, this is why Mercury is actually a solution. It's a solution to a lot of things. Yeah. When we give ourselves time for a pause, when we take a pause, I know we had a big pause during COVID, but it's a reminder to slow down, refresh, bring our attention back to ourselves, and pay attention to our inner world. So we get to fix things that are unresolved. We get to look at things that we swept under the rug. It's really brings to light so many different things. And here's the good news. Here's some of the gifts, because we've all heard these other things, well, or not, or this is all new to you. Intuition runs high during Mercury retrograde. You are going to have insights and dreams. If you sleep, we got to get Richard sleeping. Insights, aha moments, vivid dreams. We're going to get those details out of the way because we're going to be slowing down. So when this hits, it's time to meditate, to go within, to look at what is unresolved, and just go ahead and forgive yourself, forgive the other person, forgive what's unresolved, and let it all go. It's a great time to review paperwork and projects. It gives us an opportunity to revisit and reconnect with people, maybe from the past. I mean, I've had amazing conversations with some exes. Yeah. And it's also a time of profound shifts and creative expression, collaboration, and cooperation. We have to make sure that we're speaking clearly, for sure. Absolutely. It's a great time to revise projects you started but didn't finish. And this is great. Um, Maybe not judge things too quickly. Instead of things falling apart, they may be falling together. I'm sorry, that is too profound. That is right. That's exactly right. And you said it much better than I did, Richard. That's awesome. Yeah. This is actually a time when we get to look at that and we can see that, right? In the natural order of things are always gifts within every cycle, and it's only our judgments that get in the way. So what we, again, I'm just going to quote Richard, what we think is falling apart might be falling together. So the best advice that I can offer during Mercury retrograde, and drop your questions if you have any questions about the cycle or the effect or comments or anything. Absolutely drop them in the comments so that I can address them, because we're gonna get to our meditation. But the best advice that I can offer is oh, see, that's great, much better, yes. Expect delays, expect miscues, miscommunications. Everybody's saying, Richard, that was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Just a fabulous addition to all of this, because it's I forget about that statement, and it's a really good one. It's a really, really good one. So thank you for sharing that. And with all of this stuff, you have to have your amusement. You just have to go, yep, the sound went out, and out of the blue, the music was on this stream. What's funny about that is I don't know how I hit the button. I don't use the music that they offer because it's AI, as I said. So very crazy. But yes, that was brilliant. And so I'll say it again. During Mercury retrograde, it might be that instead of things falling apart, they're falling together. So keep that in mind as we go. So Janet says that I'm offering great advice. Thank you. I try to offer good advice during this, because actually, even not during Mercury retrograde, that's kind of good advice to me anyway, right? Just if and it's not about the expectation, but if you don't resist the delays, the miscues, the miscommunications in general in your life, and have your amusement, life is going to go so much smoother, and you're going to be a lot happier. That I could say. So I hope you'll stick around, because we're about to jump into an incredible meditation about, we're going to release resistance. We're going to reconnect with ourselves. We're going to review. We're going to release that which no longer serves our world. So for those of you who are just jumping on, and we're right at that hour mark, so let me do a quick thing before we jump in, because once we do all that releasing, we're going to refresh, renew, rejuvenate. It's like the fountain of youth. We're going to connect with the fountain of youth today, and we're going to replenish our space. So for now, once again, I am Debbie Tatel from Spirit Light Insight, and I do offer readings and lots of different programs workshops and things like that you absolutely are welcome to partake in. This QR code should show up. You can either point your phone at it, or you can just look at the link wherever you are on Facebook. I think it should show up as a link on all of those, or you all know where to find me anyway, so you can message me. But we've got lots of interesting things coming up, so I hope you will come get a reading soon. If you're interested in some psychic tools, Psychic Healing Foundations is coming up on September 6th. All the information can be found on this page on my website, spiritlightinsight.com. So you can find everything on my website, including the meditation from the other night, the Balance Your Energy in an Unbalanced World. There's an audio on the free meditation page. You're welcome to join the Psychic Healing Foundations class. That is a 6-week class series, 90 minutes of change your life stuff, like absolute change your life stuff. If you like what we are doing here and you wanted to leave a tip, I can have that. If so, you are welcome to leave a tip. And here's the QR code here. Also, if you look in this corner, I'm getting better at where to point. This stays up during the whole show, so you can always point your phone there and do that. That's at a virtual level, which of course is greatly appreciated, whether you do or whether you don't. I'm still gonna do these. And let's see here. Oh, there we go. That's great. I can actually see that the link showed up in one of the streams, which is great. Hopefully it showed up all over the place. But yeah, I welcome all of you to participate in any way that you feel comfortable. Also, and this is for all the folks. If you're on YouTube and you like what's going on here, give it a like, give it a share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Or certainly you can find me on Facebook, on my page, or on my personal. We're streaming live all over the place because I want to build this community of like-minded people. So even if you are on, if you're on Facebook, and also, so we're doing the virtual tip here, but on Facebook, on my page, you can click the little stars button and you can give stars. I think it's $1 for 100 stars or something like that. So you're welcome to do that. But do share this with your friends and subscribe. The more the merrier. It's always super fun. So here we are. It's Friday or Saturday, depending on where you are in the world. So why don't you go ahead and just find a comfortable seated position with your feet flat on the floor. This kind of meditation is done with your feet on the floor. And just kind of stomp your feet for a minute. Get a sense of where your feet are on the floor. Really feel that. Just begin to settle in. You can put a pillow behind your back. I have one behind me. And then gently close your eyes and give yourself a breath. And just start that process of turning your attention within and beginning to settle. We talked a lot about things, life, things we're caught up in. Just begin to settle into that space and begin to focus on your breath. And you can even consider resting your eyes. With every breath, feel yourself giving yourself space to be, giving yourself space to be who you are as the spirit that you are. And begin to say hello to your body. With every breath, just imagine that every cell is being filled with this life-giving oxygen that you're breathing in, expanding your lungs, sending that oxygen into your bloodstream. And say hello to that area at the base of your spine, your first chakra. Chakra is an energy center, part of your energy body. And just say hello to the tip of your tailbone, the base of your spine. And imagine that you're creating a connection from the base of your spine to the center of the planet. You can use whatever you want, but I like to use a beautiful, majestic oak tree. Flatten it at the top and just connect it at that tip of the tailbone area and have it just grow roots all the way into the earth. And you can use that connection to release. So give yourselves a breath and just imagine a flow of energy releasing anything you've been holding on to. Just see a flow of energy going down that grounding connection where it gets recycled in the center of the earth. Mother Earth knows what to do with it. We're not creating extra trash. And imagine that you're giving yourself a little more elbow room, a little more space to be in a world that sometimes doesn't give us space. Put a smile on your face while you're doing this, no matter what energy's releasing or what images you're seeing or feeling or experiencing. And then move your attention to the center of your head and just imagine that you're in a space that is calm and just for you, a place where you can see and be who you are. And it can be a room of your choosing. It can be on a beach. It can be in the middle of a mountain clearing. Just imagine that you're grounded in that space and then breathe and release and breathe and release. Settle in even deeper as you turn your attention within. And if any of my folks out there know how to run energy, I see you. So go ahead and start that process. Thank you for being here. And be right in the center of your head and begin to reflect on your week and any kind of judgments or errors or miscommunications that might have gone on, something you just can't let go of. And just begin to sort of give them space and say, thank you for coming into my world. Thank you for that lesson. Thank you for showing me. And then give yourself a great big breath. And as you exhale, just release all of that energy down that grounding connection. Go ahead and let go of your week. You might even Notice that there were challenges or lots of things that were stressing you out. Maybe you became responsible for something that wasn't yours. Just imagine that that's all flowing down your grounding cord like just a river of, let the current of the grounding cord just keep that flowing away from you. And go ahead and put your palms face up in your lap in a receptive position where you're open and receiving, not having to experience a threat or constantly in a fight for your own space. And just rest there for a moment. And notice that as you rest, consider how often do you give yourself space to just rest, to not be constantly doing, and not even going unconscious, where you're just giving yourself a space to rest and be aware. Now give yourselves a breath and bring your focused awareness to anything you've been resisting this past week. Maybe you have a new job starting, or maybe your health is out of whack, or maybe you just don't feel good. So maybe you've been resisting how your body's feeling. Just say hello to that energy. And rather than having to fix or change any of it, give yourself a breath and just release the resistance to it. Sometimes we go into a space of trying to solve something, and the simple answer is just to release the resistance so that when we say hello, the rest of it can change. Let go of any resistance to your situation, to your life. Just imagine that you giving yourself a breath and then releasing, and that the current flowing down your grounding cord will just effortlessly take whatever it is that you're letting go of. Go ahead and see if there's any resistance to Mercury Retrograde or slowdowns or slowing yourself down. Many times we resist a Mercury retrograde because, or resting within ourselves because there's something we're avoiding, or we don't want to look at something, or we don't want to deal with it, or we don't want to remember it. And if that's the case, just give yourself a breath. I've got this space set at safety and space, spaciousness. Just go ahead and give yourself a breath and breathe and release it. If you notice your thoughts, maybe there's old relationships coming up for you, or communications that you're resisting. Maybe there's old wounds. Or even if you just feel blocked or stuck in any particular area, just give yourself a breath and allow whatever that is to come up, and simply breathe in And exhale. Breathe in love and exhale love. Give yourself a breath, allow it to transform that inner part of you. And as you exhale, allow that transformation to go out into the world like butterflies in the wind. Give yourself space to be. This Mercury retrograde slowdown, the solution, the gift, allows you to plan for the future. But the only way to do that is to be in the present with it, not just constantly thinking with our minds churning. Isn't it amazing to breathe in, allow that transformation, and exhale that transformation into the world? Earlier, we talked about what we resist persists and creates more resistance. Well, the last thing we need in this world is more resistance. So breathe in and just decide to release any resistance that's in your world right now. Anything that you're resisting, anywhere anyone's resisting you. That's a good one. And just really settle in and just give yourself and your spirit that rest, the rest to see, the rest to be. One of the things with Mercury retrograde is to reimagine, revisit, rejuvenate. This is your fountain of youth. When we rest, we bring in more life-giving energy when we can be in our own space. So let go of any resistance to Mercury retrograde and welcome it like an old friend as it prompts us to revisit, reset, and rejuvenate. Open up to receiving what the universe is showing you. And because this is a highly intuitive time, pay attention to those dreams or flashes that you might normally dismiss. Realign with yourself and your goals. This is a time for you to literally see the light. So give yourself a breath and move your attention back behind your eyes in the center of your head, center of your awareness. And then imagine a beautiful gold ball of energy above your head, a gold sun, a gold fountain of youth filled with hope and renewal. And imagine that gold sun just coming in through the top of your head and flowing through your mind, through your whole head, flowing through your body, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Let lots of it go into your belly. It's a never-ending ball of gold. Rejuvenate, fountain of youth, filled with hope and renewal, and let that fill up your legs and your knees and your thighs, all of you, and then every cell in your body. Just let it be carried through your bloodstream and your circulatory system and your respiratory system and all the different systems in your body. Let it flow. And then imagine another golden sun above your head, another golden ball of light. And call back your energy into this gold ball of light from wherever you left it or wherever it was stuck. And in this gold sun, go ahead and also put some qualities of energy that you would like to experience for this weekend or the coming week. Maybe call back some of your joy, some of your spirit, some of your youth. Maybe you want an ice cream cone or a chocolate bar. Can be those things too. Your body likes to get energy plus some treats. So as you energetically fill up, you can put some things in that gold sun that you're going to give to your body, whatever's good for you. And then notice how much energy is coming back into that gold sun that you might have given away during the week. And then bring that gold sun down into your space to fill you up. It's just going to pour in and flow through your entire body, filling up every cell, every atom and molecule, every in-between space. It's going to fill up from top to bottom and bottom to top. And then it's going to begin to expand out into that aura space, your energy field. And it's going to continue to expand out until it's about 6 feet around you. So you're sitting in a gold bubble of light, at peace and calm, in the center of your mind. And rest there for a moment. Just like Mercury Retrograde reminds us to slow down, it's a time to give ourselves space to rest. Not to sleep, but to rest and be in our energy. And notice what that feels like. And then finally, just start to wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit and really start to get a sense of your body. Be aware of your surroundings, even with your eyes closed, and then give yourself a deep breath. And go ahead and pat your body. Just really kind of come back. And give yourself another breath. And when you're ready, you can just exhale and then open your eyes and just return to yourself. Look around your room, come back. You might even want to take a big stretch and bend over and dump out, but don't hit your head. I can't even show you how to do that because I'll put my head right through my computer. Just come back. And hello, 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 hello. I'm sending you all these hellos. And Angela, thank you for that. Looking forward to the meditation. I'm so glad. I look forward to having you here. It's wonderful. Thank you. So what was your experience? What did you notice while we were doing this? I'll give you a moment to come back. I can tell you that from my end, one of the biggest things, and when I do these meditations, I have a certain thing that I want to get to, but I also look at where each of your energy is. I look at the energy that is kind of the group collective. And it was amazing to watch as I had you just rest at those certain points. And boy, did that look like it was needed. So give yourselves a breath, and I'd love to hear from you what your experience was with that. And we can wait. I need to take just a sip here as you're coming back. I know sometimes re-entry is a little bit slow, isn't it? Oh, and I should have had you put a smile on your face. So do that right now. Put a smile on your face and just say hello. Wave at me. That hello brightens everybody's day. I should have thought to link that article, but I didn't think of it. But it's somewhere here. It's all about brightening the day. But you all look a lot brighter. And yes, hello. Hello. I should make a banner that says hello. Um, very restful. I sent you all a hello. Hopefully you all got that hello. Isn't that fun? It says it can't be posted to some channels. I don't know. Um, but hello, hello. Yeah, it's a restful space, but it was really what was so amazing was that the rest is like when you're resting a spirit in a body is incredible. And Maria says when you talked about the gold sun entering, I saw my body as blue and creating a green when it mixed with the gold and yellow sun. Yes. Congratulations. That's a clearing and a almost kind of a oneness, isn't it? When it mixes with it, it's amazing. And it does. Sometimes we bring in a gold sun and it changes the color, and it also releases anything that kind of is not in neutral in our space. These gold suns that we bring in, there's so many functions for them. And one of them is that it neutralizes energy. So that's just a little tidbit for you as well, which is wonderful. So this has been great. I am coming down to the fact that these are always going to be about 90 minutes. I know I was trying to shorten. Yeah, Richard felt your body warm up. Yep, that happens. Sometimes I get cold, sometimes I get warm, sometimes it levels out. It's always different. So that's great. It's interesting when we start to bring in the energy, what we feel and sense, and then even see and know about ourselves. Did anybody get any images? Love to hear from you on that. What kind of images do you get up that sort of come up, or what were you sort of thinking about during this time that we were releasing? Because so much, oh my gosh, there was so much energy that got released and so much resistance. That was really something to see from my side, how much resistance is out there in the world. So that's pretty profound and interesting. So, well, we should probably wrap up this little TGIF party. Again, I'm drinking electrolytes here. Maybe you have a cocktail wherever you are. I'm going to give a shout out of thanks to my friend Louis Maybe, who I had an amazing conversation with. I know he's probably busy, but I told him I was going to mention his name. We had an amazing conversation yesterday about some of this. It was great. It's really nice to have some of these conversations, with colleagues. So here we all are. Thank you all for coming. Of course, readings and healings are always available. You can reach me at my website, spiritlightinsight.com. Actually, I can, yeah. So it's spiritlightinsight.com. This isn't linked, but that's where that is. There are, let's see, I've got some people. Lewis is great. That is true. He's very fun. And he's actually a wonderful friend now at this point, which is amazing. Just tuned in. Well, Marianne, just when this is done, just check out the replay because this was a good one. So welcome. I'm glad you tuned in. We're starting to wrap up. Let's see. Richard's saying thank you. So no, thank you. It's because you're all here that keeps me doing this. So really, I have nothing but love. If you are so welcome, Janet. So if you like what we're doing here, you're welcome to leave a tip. It's in the corner. It's here. It's creating a link. Well, from wherever you are. But readings are available. I've got the Psychic Healing Foundation 6-week class coming up. This is starting on September 6th. If you're interested or you have questions, just reach out to me, Debra at spiritlightinsight.com, or you know how to find me on any of the fun channels. I do hope that you consider joining us or for a workshop or something like that, because one of the benefits of doing this work in a group is that you can feel the generated energy. You get to be a part of this wonderful after chat that we have. And it really creates a real transformation space. Another benefit is that you don't feel so alone. You'll be in a space with like-minded souls, very safe. So check out the details. Again, it's spiritlightinsight.com. You can find all the information on my website. Check out check out the meditation, the balance your energy in an unbalanced world. That is all. That is on the free guided meditation page that is now linked wherever on whatever channel that you are on. I welcome you to listen to that. It's free. There's no obligation whatsoever. Just go listen. Yes, I am so excited that you are signed up, Janet, and I hope we get more. The more the merrier. I would love a big group. It's really great. That's great, Marianne. Thank you so much. I so appreciate even you watching the replay, popping on. Just always, you're a wonderful support, and I hope you're doing well. Connie, thank you for being here. I loved your note that you were sorry you missed the last time. We did miss you. I wondered where you were. So thank you for being here. Mom, I think she went off because her Sabbath, she goes to services, so she pops off a little bit early sometimes. But to all of you, I want to wish you a happy weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful, there I am in the light. Have a wonderful new week and keep your spirit light in sight and shine your light for all to see. Bye-bye for now.